What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 5 of Learning to Hunt series here at Maneuver Outdoors. Now, this one we're finally getting out from behind the table, getting out into the woods, actually going looking for deer. A little bit of what's going on, or what's going to be happening in the next couple of episodes, the next couple of weeks. Deer season's coming. I'm going up in a week or two to Vermont to go bear hunting, and then hopefully we'll get some squirrel hunting stuff. So we'll be getting out from behind that chair, a lot more, getting out into the woods, hopefully getting some more fun out in the woods videos going on. Let's go ahead and jump right in this thing, see what's going on. Just got here, it's early in the morning. Let's go see what we can find by looking at those spots we picked out on the map already. Maybe we'll identify a couple other places as well. Let's get going. Alright, let's talk about what we're going to be looking for while we're out here. So we're going to be looking for actual deer, obviously. We're going to be looking for tracks, trails, scat, and bedding areas. And beds, we're looking for any of those things that come in and where they're going, and when we find those, we'll be able to start to create a pattern of life of how they're living in this area. Even if we only find one or two of those things, we can start to kind of figure those things out. So let's go ahead and keep moving. Other side of this really heavy, like vines and brush and stuff right here, it actually opens up pretty well, and it's clear, and there's several distinct trails back there. So that's a good sign. There are several exits onto the field coming out onto it from those trails that look like they're heavily trafficked. There's also a pond back there that has signs of deer going to it. Now, what I didn't see in there is there's not a lot of, signs saying that they're staying there. So the trails that they travel on, and then signs of them drinking the water, but there's not a lot of scat, there's not a lot of beds, there's nothing saying that they're really spending a lot of time right here other than transitioning to this field or transitioning to the water. So this area right here, some sort of transitional area for them to get to the water, to the field, or somewhere else. Alright, so we come to the fields on the other side of where that pond area is, and both of those are planted with corn. Just like that. Now remember, we talked about agriculture, like tall growing things like corn. It's a good bedding area, feeding area. So I thought there was a deer over there. Bedding and feeding areas for deer. Now, obviously, eventually this will be cut down. But for now, at least like early season, unless they cut it before the season, this can act as a potential bedding area. And once after they cut it, they'll still come back here because they're going to be looking for any of the scraps left over, anything that's going on. So, good thing here. And this is public land that this farmer is using to plant corn on. I double checked, so I'm not like trespassing on any farmer's land or private land right now. Now obviously I'm not going to go like gallivanting through the corn, but I can hunt the edges of it, and as long as I'm not like actively damaging it, I can do what I need to do inside of here. So we're going to poke around these cornfields, see what we can see. Alright, so we stepped inside the tree line of those cornfields, and immediately trails everywhere, like little packed down areas of trails right along the inside of these fields. And right there, we're looking at a deer bed right there. Right, it doesn't look like it's been used in a couple of days, but that's what it looks like. It looks like you can almost draw a circle with how it is. You see, that's where its back was, right there, and its feet were tucked up right here. And my guess is it either had its head right here or head right here, obviously, so it could look up into the field over there. And anything coming from behind it would have to go through all this, so it'd be able to hear it as it came through. So it gave itself a secure position right here. Now there are multiple little things like that, little bedding areas over here, so this area is being used as a bedding site. So that's pretty dope to find. Now they're not always going to be bedding at this exact location, but we now know that at certain times deer will likely bed right here. So we can use that. We can mark that down on our map now as something to remember for next time we're coming in here. Now here's something really cool. We got more bedding right here, as you can see, right out into the tree line. Now, deer aren't the only ones who like this spot, right? Leftover piece of archery equipment right here, literally in the bedding area. It's kind of old, but the hunters like this spot too, because they can get up in these trees right here and see out into the field. Now, if there's multiple bedding areas in the area, they might have a good time. But if this is the primary bedding spot where all these deer are sitting in, as they're coming in to get in here, the deer are seeing the people come into this spot, and they're bugging out of here before the hunters even got in and set up. And then he's setting up right on top of the bedding area, and he's here forever. You know, so interesting tidbit. Sometimes we and the things we're after like the same spots, just for different reasons. So I want to show you guys why the deer are really bedding on that spot, why it's so important. So that's it, that corner right there. When we were inside that, you could see out into this field. Now directly behind me, right there, is the entrance to every field over here. That's the main entrance and where the majority of hunters are going to walk out of. Now I know I said earlier in the video, don't worry about hunting pressure, but it's just something to think about, that there's multiple deer beds right here, right in the spot where they can look straight at the place where they're going to see predators the most. So I'm taking that into account. I may have to approach from that way, but I'm not going to enter any of these fields from that spot right there. I'm going to take some sort of woods route, keep myself from exposing myself to that position right there. Alright, so doesn't look like much right now, but that's the top of an acorn, and then we got a couple of oak trees right here, looking like white oaks, I think, right in this area on the backside of one of the fields. The cornfield's just up over there, but acorn areas, agriculture, bedding area, deer love acorns like we were saying, so this could be a potential spot to slip into, and I'm fairly confident I could get in here without exposing myself to that bedding area, because it's on the other side of this field over here. So you got water over there, agriculture, bedding areas, and now acorns right here. And it's fairly open back here as well. So I may not sit directly on the field, but I can get up into one of these trees right here. Like this one right here looks really, really good. I'd have to get up kind of high because it is kind of fat, but I get up into that one right there, and I could sit and I could see into the fields towards the bedding areas. I'm on the opposite side of where the hunting pressure is coming in, so I'd have to get in here early, and I can set myself up where I can see down in this area right here, or I get to one of the trees that's closer so I can have shots into the field, shots into the acorns, down over here. So I think this is a really good spot. So we're gonna mark this spot as a potential feeding and stand location on the map. And this is definitely a place that we'll come hunt during the season. So we got back here behind that oak area, and we got some scat and some old rubs. So the scat is this year's, the rubs are probably last year's, but it's a sign. It's a real good sign now. So that feeding area and back here, good spots, looking potentially be able to come out here during the season and see if we can get stuff. Now it's pretty hard back here to move around without pushing stuff out. I'm going to poke around a little bit more and then probably push out. And now that I have a general understanding of this area, I'm probably going to push out and then only come back when it's season time, so I'm not saturating this area with my scent. So once I'm done here today, I'm not coming back until I intend to hunt this spot. The other thing is the river is right behind us right here, and it goes straight down. So the only way they can really go from here is either side or to that feeding area. So we can kind of work with that. That right there is a doe track. Now, doe tracks, the tips together. For a buck track, they're split apart. If we find a buck track, I'll show you guys, but the narrower side of the track is the direction that the deer is going. You can also tell, start to judge like how old they are by looking at it. Just a quick trick that I like to do is I'll just make a mark next to it, and then I'll compare the two. You guys probably can't see right now. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. There's slight discoloration in my track. So it's like the dirt has been kind of moved around just a little bit. Whereas this one, everything is fairly solidified. As in, there's no like little itty bitty grains of sand. It looks like it's kind of been smoothed. So that tells me that was made a couple of days ago. It's given a chance for everything to settle down, and with the rain that came last night, it packed all the little grits and bits back in. So this thing was here at least 24 to 48 hours ago. So it's a good sign, but it's not like we're right up on this deer. So we're here at position 2, and there's some old scat. It was a trip. It was a trip trying to get here because I didn't take the trail, and it's hot. It wasn't fun, but it's a smaller field. There's not much to it. There's some old scat and stuff here, but not a lot of fresh deer sign. So we're gonna keep moving, check out a couple other places while we're going. So first place was really good. Second place, not so much. There's just nothing really to look at. It's really thick, which you'd think would be good for deer, which generally is true, but there's just no way to get into this stuff without making a lot of noise, and it's all prickers, so it's just ripping you apart. So there's just not a lot here to really go around. So we're gonna keep moving, see what else we can find. All right, so while coming out of our second site, we came to another cornfield, which is sitting right behind me. Got another field right in front of us right here, and there's another field right over here that all intersect. Now there is a pretty heavily trafficked trail right here, but pretty good spot just to like poke around, see what we can see. You know, if it was like I just needed to get into a position. There's some pretty decent trees here, and I can see quite a ways, so even if I'm like not gonna stay there for a very long time, I can get up into a tree, I can sit for a couple hours, and I have pretty decent visual range in multiple directions. The other thing that I really like about this spot is that it's one of the tallest points so far that we've been to. You can get up, you can see pretty decent ways, but you can also hear pretty decent ways. So that goes into turkey hunting during springtime. Get up here and call for turkeys, and tom turkeys will be coming up here because it's the highest point, so they can go and see it. So marking it down for other uses as well while we're out here looking for deer. Alright guys, so we didn't make it to the third spot because we just simply ran out of time. No biggie though. Hey, hunting season's right around the corner. We'll be going up, like I said at the beginning of the video, going up to hunt some bear, then some squirrels, and then we're going to be jumping right into the deer season right when it starts. So if you like this video, go ahead, hit a like, subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Those things really benefit me, help me out here at Maneuver Outdoors. So we'll see you guys on the next episode.